I was told not to look. They didn't explain why. Just that when the ceremony began, I was to keep my eyes lowered and remain silent. I agreed. I didn't think it mattered. I was in a remote village in northern Nepal for documentary work. I'd been granted permission to observe a traditional sky burial, a practice where the body of the deceased is offered to vultures atop a mountain as a final act of generosity. It wasn't morbid, it was spiritual. At least that's what I believed. The ritual took place before sunrise. The air was thin and sharp, and the mountain plateau felt too close, too exposed. There were no trees, no structures, just rock and sky, and the body. Wrapped in white cloth, the monks chanted low, rhythmic prayers. The sound blended with the wind. I kept my eyes lowered like I'd been told, until I heard something that wasn't chanting. It wasn't the wind either. It was wet, a slow tearing sound, followed by wings, heavy ones. I knew the vultures had arrived. I told myself that it's all that it was. Nature, cycle of life. Then the chanting stopped, abruptly. No signal, no final note, just silence. The kind of silence that feels like something is listening. I felt it before I saw it. The shift. The air changed. Colder, thicker, like pressure building in my ears. Someone next to me whispered, very softly, "Do not look at its face. It's not his, not the deceased. It's." That's when something moved too quickly. Not in the sky, on the ground. There was a sudden violent rustling, but not from birds. The vultures weren't landing. They were circling, avoiding something. I made the mistake. I looked. The body was no longer fully wrapped. The cloth had fallen away from the head, but the face wasn't exposed because it wasn't there. Where the face should have been, there was movement, not decay, not damage, movement. Like something underneath the skin was trying to push outward. The jaw bent, wrong direction, too wide. Then the eyes opened, not cloudy, not dead, wide, unaware. They weren't looking at the sky. They were looking directly at me. The chanting resumed immediately. Louder, faster, panicked. One monk grabbed my shoulder hard enough to bruise. Down. I dropped my gaze, but I could still hear it. Bones shifting, wet tearing, and something like laughter, only deeper, layered, as if more than one voice shared the same mouth. The wind picked up violently. The vultures scattered. Something hit the ground near us. Heavy. Too heavy to be a bird. The chanting grew frantic, then stopped again. When I was finally allowed to look up, the body was gone. not consumed, gone. No blood, no remains, no cloth, just bare stone. The monks refused to speak to me after that. I left the village the next day. 3 weeks later, I started waking up at 4:17 a.m. every night, the exact time the ritual had begun. At first, I thought it was a coincidence. Then I started hearing wings, not outside, inside, above my ceiling, scraping slowly across the plaster. Last night I woke up to find dirt under my fingernails, dry, gray, like mountain dust, and on my nightstand, a single black feather. I don't live anywhere near mountains, and I sleep with my window closed. They told me not to look. I should have listened.